Los Angeles, California. New York City, New York. Memphis, Tennessee. Seattle, Washington. Omaha, Nebraska.
What?
All right. To be fair, Omaha is not the first place you think of when you think of great music. But let me tell you something. The Omaha area is crawling with fantastic musicians. You can walk into any club, any night of the week, and hear some amazing musicians that you've never heard of. And neither has anyone else. You know, we're all about bringing you the finest original musicians in their natural habitats. I'm your host, Moose Epperson. Please join me as we check out some more great music that's just lost in Omaha. You know, over 20 years ago, back when I was a much younger man, music was pretty straightforward, at least the types. You know, you had rock, you had blues, you had jazz, you had country, you had reggae, you know, pretty straightforward. I mean, there were sub-classifications, of course, that's an oversimplification, you know, because you had classic rock and acid rock, heavy metal. You had jazz and fusion jazz and blues and rhythm and blues. You had country and really bad country, you know, that kind of stuff. But it was all pretty straightforward, you know, you knew where you were at. Then all of a sudden, like I say, the early 90s, out of nowhere, all of a sudden you had all these artsy shoegazers that kind of came in from the great moist West, and, you know, they started playing this stuff that was a totally new sound. And I tried really, really hard to understand it. I did lots of research, and no matter how hard I looked, no matter how much research I did, no matter how many albums I listened to, I never got the answer to my question. And that question was, alternative to what? Went down to the corner to buy a pack of smokes. Shoot the breeze with the clerk and saw some dirty jokes. Through the door there walked in the dapperest of blokes, kind who'd never drank domestic beer. I continued talking about my latest gig, while my buddy took the money from this capitalist pig. A vein in this guy's forehead, it suddenly got big. Turned and looked at me with a sneer. He said, "You're singing songs about people you don't even know, acting like your life is pure as the driven snow, dancing with your shadows, wondering why they never grow. We don't need your kind around here. But what does it matter to me? Don't really know. They can't dig the groove I'm in, then they can all just blow. Drink another Red Dog, tune up my guitar. Long as they keep paying me, you know, I'll keep on playing star." Went down to the bayou to have a drink or two. Bumped into this sweet young thing that I was sure I knew. Slid on over to her to show her my tattoo. She looked as if she wished I'd go away. I quoted Chinese love poems from many years ago. Told about the big dog and a top 10 TV show. She just yawned a little, said I've got to go. Looked at me and softly she did say, "Singing songs about people you don't even know, acting like your life is pure as the driven snow, dancing with your shadows, wonder why they never grow. No one wants a man like you today. But what does it matter to me? Don't really know. They can't dig the groove I'm in, then they can all just blow. Drink another Red Dawn, tune up my guitar. Long as they keep paying me, and I'll keep on playing the star. Went down to the graveyard to visit my old man. Took some weak old flowers in a rusted coffee can. Heard a voice that called out, echoed through the land. Said everything you've ever done is wrong. I went and sat a little, talked about my life. Told him about the little ones, the car, the house, the wife. Bitter cold shot through me, cut me like a knife. Think he knew I couldn't stay too long. As I left, I thought about that call that shook the air. Knew that's what he thought of me and wondered if I cared. Would've gone back to ask him, but I didn't dare. So I went home, drank a beer, and wrote this song. But what does it matter to me? Don't really know. They can't dig the groove I'm in, then they can all just blow. Drink another Red Dawn, tune up my guitar. Long as they keep paying me, you know I'll keep on playing star. All right, Moose Epperson, it's really great of you to be here. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I know it's a little different format than usual, but because I stepped out from behind the interview microphone, I'm going to sit here. So we're not actually really going to ask questions. I'm just going to talk, and hopefully you're going to listen. First of all, thanks everybody for watching the show. We really appreciate it because that's what it's all about, is getting local original musicians exposed to other people. And not in a bad way, hopefully. I always ask people how they describe their musical style. I gotta say that I've always thought of my musical style without actually sounding anything like these greats. I consider myself very much influenced by, the 70s singer-songwriter movement. I'm a passable guitar player. I'm a barely passable vocalist, but I think I write pretty good songs, and they tend to fall in that folky, rocky kind of genre. There's a lot of other elements as well, but that's primarily what it is singer-songwriter acoustic music. The artists that have influenced me over the years that have kind of left their mark on me, there's been quite a few of them. I've tried to sound like them and never really succeeded. I'm a big Harry Chapin fan. I'm a big Don McLean fan. Shel Silverstein, in particular, the stuff that he wrote for Dr. Hook, had a real big influence on me. Jim Steinman, who wrote for Meatloaf and a lot of other people, definitely a big influence. Alice Cooper, AC/DC. It's a pretty diverse, but very much a rock and roll kind of background. For a while there, it seemed like all the friends my wife drug home were all single mothers. And I've got a lot of respect for single mothers. It's a very difficult proposition to raise a child or multiple children in a world where you've got no support or no help. And it gets tougher every day as the economy gets worse and society changes and the pressures that are out there. This one friend of my wife's had an exceptionally difficult time of it. And I wrote this song for her as kind of a way to say that no matter how bad it was, eventually it was going to get better, and that there were people out there who cared. So this is a little tune called Gold Sunrise. A pillar of strength, though you may not know it. A burning beauty, you're afraid to show it. A heavy task, though I know you'll face it. A beautiful soul, you know you must embrace it. A lonely road, but I know you'll take it. A tragic trip, though I pray you'll make it. A burning pain, you know you can't relieve it. But there is an end, you know you must believe it. It's hard to keep your cool when you're betrayed. It's so damn hard to walk this path that's laid. It's hard to see through crying eyes, but you'll stand there in the gold sunrise. Tears of pain that don't become you, just salty ghosts of what's taken from you. Tears of pity that never serve you, for a man who never would deserve you. Friends you have to stand beside you, always there to love and guide you. When it's dark as night around you, look for the love that still surrounds you. It's hard to keep your cool when you're betrayed. It's so damn hard to walk this path that's laid. It's hard to see through crying eyes, but you'll stand there in the gold sunrise. The hills ahead, I know you'll climb them, and your new life will be there behind them. It doesn't matter what stands behind you, your bad dreams will never find you. Just take the lessons that life will teach you, and the morning sun can't help but reach you. Trust your heart and take your chances. In your soul, that's where romance is. It's hard to keep your cool when you're betrayed. It's so damn hard to walk this path that's laid. It's hard to see through crying eyes, but you'll stand there in the gold sunrise. Yes, you'll stand there in the gold sunrise. You know, when we address the idea of what Omaha can do to help support original musicians, you know, we need venues. You know, there's lots of jams. I mean, jams are great, don't get me wrong. I played a lot of jams, had a lot of fun. But jams tend to be, you hear a lot of cover music. There need to be more venues, you know, coffee houses, bars, you know, little restaurants. There's a wide variety of places that we could do it. But there need to be some showcases for original musicians. There may be some out there, but they sure aren't making it very apparent. You know, on the other hand, you know, we need to get people behind it, like local media. They need to get on the bandwagon, and they need to give some advertisement and something more than just a little one-line blurb in the back page somewhere. But they need to give some support to these local musicians that are doing original music, because there's a great deal of really, really talented people here. in the area that are out there doing their originals, and nobody knows where they are. You know, I wrote this song while laying in an opium den in Norway while on shore leave from the Merchant Marine. You know, and having been in the Merchant Marine for 7 years, I think I know a little bit about the music business. Cheer up, darling, I got something to say. Hold on till the light of day. You just might find a friend if you just play your part with jealous hands and a haunted heart. You just might reach the end, running straight through time, wondering what's yours or mine. We both know it's just a joke, standing, sometimes lost, trying to pay love's cost. Oh, honey, I am broke. I don't know why you stand by me when all your heart wants is to be free. I don't know why you hold my hand. I'm a petty, broken man. Please don't touch me, I can't take anymore. Thought that I had closed the door against the pain you left for me. Left it here to remember you by. Think of it every time I cry. Oh, the love that could never be. Thought that I could make it with you, trusting luck just to see us through. I don't know what I believed, like a fever burning in my blood, crashing down into a sea of mud. Oh, I must have been deceived. I don't know why you stand by me when all your heart wants is to be free. I don't know why you hold my hand. I'm a petty, broken man. I was wrong, should've known from the start. It's hard to think with a broken heart. Told myself I understood the truth. Staged emotions, scripted lines, feeling lost more than half the time. Now I know I should have asked for proof. Every film needs to end on a twist. Not even Hitchcock could have thought of this. A broken man standing all alone. Just walk away, don't look back. Cut the scene with a fade to black. Get your coat and head for home. I don't know why you stand by me when all your heart wants is to be free. I don't know why you hold my hand. I'm a petty, broken man.